since college football is starting, it already started, but not like the main teams. Alabama all the way, man. I'm a Alabama alumni. Don't talk like I'm a bandwagoner. I went to school there for 6 years, 5.5 actually. Stop playing with me. But we're gonna get straight into this. College football, as we knew it, has been ruined, and that's great. An NFL fan's perspective. Let's see what's going on.
College football.
Pretty sure it's gonna be something about the transfers and NIT deals.
That's the question asked by tons of college football purists. They believe
Uh-huh.
the sport is evolving into something uncontrollable, but it's come way too far to turn back now.
Who had that Charizard? That hologram Charizard, the little glittery one. Who had that? Put it down below.
The strongest conferences are getting stronger, while the smaller guys are being left behind.
Yeah.
Players are finally getting to share of the pie, but eat too much.
I said NIT, I mean the NIL.
And at the same time that college football is dealing with the NIL boom, massive conference realignment is taking place. With Texas and Oklahoma leaving their traditional conference
come to the SEC
12 and instead dipping out for the powerhouse SEC. And on
they not gonna have, bro. Right, they good coming here, but y'all set yourself up, cause y'all ain't never going undefeated. Y'all not making it to the championship ever in the SEC.
Top of that, you got USC and UCLA leaving the Pac-12 for the Big Ten. Some fear that college football is becoming quote-unquote NFL Junior. They think it'll end up being filled with only 32 viable teams, all jam-packed into two super conferences. And you can easily see why traditional college football fans would be upset with this. It could reduce the other conferences to the point of being completely obsolete. But a casual fan might look at it and go, but there was only a few teams that had an opportunity to win a national championship anyway. This might actually put more teams into the mix, not less. But the downside to this is that smaller programs who have rich traditions could end up fading away completely. What happens to the fans? It's been pretty fun reading about this over the last week because it's just really going down in this sport right now.
Transferring has been crazy. Like, even though I'm a fan of Alabama, we took so many. Transferring. We was literally taking like the best players off their team, and they was transferring. Like they got the cornerback from LSU, the wide receiver from Georgia, the two running backs from Georgia Tech. How do you get the starting running back and the backup running back? What is like, bro? And plus the recruits they got. It's crazy. Let's get back to it.
College football fans are overreacting a little, but at the same time, it does feel like a brand new dawn in that sport and this arms race for power.
But college football it's not dying for sure.
To keep the money coming in, and players are trying to get theirs for the very first time. And it's intriguing
the NIL deal.
They've managed to put the college football black market on Front Street, just out in the open for everybody to see. No doubt, it's a wild time in college football, and I honestly empathize and kind of feel bad for a lot of traditional college football fans because the sport that they've given their blood, sweat, tears.
Bro, stop that. I already know he about to say, but I appreciate it. But the fans that's thinking like that, bro, stop it. These dudes are basically NFL players. They're putting that, bro. I've seen a lot of Alabama fans not Alabama fans. Alabama players get treated like royalty, but bro, they are bringing money to the college that you are a fan of. They're bringing a lot. Like Alabama is bringing, the football team is bringing in so much money, bro. And they just about to start a rule that you can drink in the stadium. That's more money because they coming to see them boys play and risk their life for real. Risk injuries, anything, bro. Pay them.
And money too is being drastically altered and will never be the same as it was before. And if you got any type of heart, you have to imagine that for them, that really, really sucks. But at the same time, I have to admit that for me, somebody who's not a traditional college football,
I can't wait for NCAA to come up.
Excited I've been for a college football season since I was doing that Rutgers.
Ooh.
If you're a traditional college football fan, understand, I mean no disrespect. Real quick, let me try to explain my position. I've told this story before, so I'll make it quick. I grew up on historically black college college football. Mostly
HBCU?
swag. Southern University,
Okay.
Alcorn State,
Uh-huh.
Grambling, Battle of the Bands, all that stuff.
Uh-huh.
Of course, today, everybody knows Jackson State, even on a national level, thanks
Deion
to the
Sanders.
amazing work that Deion is doing. But back in the day, I used to just see Jackson State as Alcorn's rival. That's
Yep.
my history. I eventually got into the NCAA football video.
Oh, he
games
definitely
in
was an
college,
HBCU.
And even though I was there at Southern
He
University
played? Did he play?
on a football scholarship, I probably spent more time on the virtual field than I did on the real one. Oddly enough, my
crazy.
video game education somehow turned into a job a few years later. It's like I basically majored in NCAA. But even though I took to the video game, I never got into real life college football the same way. There were so many teams and so many bowl games, but only one national champion. And please understand, once again, I mean no disrespect, but from an outsider's perspective, if you wasn't building towards a national championship, then for me, it just kind of all felt pointless. So today we're taking on an extremely broad topic. And while I might go much, much deeper on individual topics in the future, today I'm just going to be laying out my general thoughts, feelings, and position when it comes to the current state of college football.
Let's
But
do
other
it.
than that,
Come on.
you already know what time it is, bros.
Let's do it. What time is it?
Chew the way.
Ooh. I'm a go-getter.
All right, before we jump in, a quick word from today's video sponsor, Factor. Factor can help make hitting your nutrition.
Hey, I appreciate you. You gotta get your money.
It's a great time
Get your money, fam.
boxing at all of the
Get your money.
systems, but I have no idea what this new system is actually gonna look like, and how could you?
I got a stuffy
There's
nose, so
no
if y'all hear me
roadmap,
sound like I'm sick,
no
I got stuffy nose.
direction. We just out here, bro. As you could probably guess, this is where I fall. I'm trepidation.
It's a nice room, bro.
All sports leagues change and evolve over time. Within just the last couple years, the NFL added an extra regular season game and 2 playoff teams. The NBA added a play-in tournament, which takes place before
True.
the
I
playoffs.
didn't
It
think
allows
about this.
teams
There's a
that
lot
would
of
be
change in
right
sports
on the
right now.
outside looking in to challenge the teams who barely got in for their spot. People hated
True.
it at first, but now it's something that fans look forward to. Even college football itself has gone through a bunch of changes since I was a kid. The BCS era was villainized because those computers knew what the human heart of a diehard fan just never could. It knew that your favorite team had 0 chance of winning. The college football playoff was supposed to improve things from the BCS, giving more schools an opportunity to get in. But for NFL fans like myself and many others, the fact that you needed a group of people to vote
True.
on who got into the playoff just kind of defeated the entire purpose of the playoff in the first place. And
Okay.
again, from an outsider's perspective,
The problem is it's just so many colleges out there. Like, it's like, if you think about it, we'll do it like the NFL. Let's take the number of NFL teams and just take the top 3, right? Now those top 3 are not going to like no that top group that I'm talking about. I said top 3. That top group, half of them are not going to be on the level of the upper half, like Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, like stuff like that. A lot of them are going to get blown out like bad, and that's the top, like the top teams. The same amount as the NFL. Now take that half that's going to just blow them out. Chop that in half. Alabama, Georgia, and all of them are still going to blow them out. We already know what teams are going to be fighting. We might get one team that surprises us, and they upset somebody in a bowl game, and now like the top heavy team, they lose one, and the whole thing goes crazy. Like in the bowl game, like upset after upset. That's the only way a person that like kind of has a Cinderella story is going to get in. But when they go to the playoffs, they're going to get demolished. Like I remember when Alabama played some team that was like small. Was it TCU? They got destroyed. Like it's just hard. Like it's top heavy.
it was easy to look at that and think, these dudes want to make sure they have a certain amount of control over which teams make it into these.
These dudes want to get the
that you can
views.
control over an actual compelling experience. And that was something that some fans could never get into. But despite their best efforts, the NCAA has continued to lose power over the years. Some sports leagues have anticipated changes coming and gotten out in front of the oncoming issues by embracing small.
Bro, if they gotta do if they gotta do that to avoid head injury, it's not goofy, bro. It's not goofy if you're trying to say, you know, when people get concussions playing football, bro, that's one reason why I didn't play football. It's because of injuries, bro. I just knew. And then like the halfback at my high school, I was gonna be behind him, right? He got hurt the next year, and he went to Ole Miss. He got hurt that same year. Just injuries. You need to pay. You know, something going back to the thing. Pay these people, man. They getting paid now, but NFL hopes to reduce. Yeah, but okay. Yeah, do what you gotta do.
Specific areas. That's all it took. But while other
it's not gonna hurt the player playing in it. It's not gonna stop their skill.
Who've refused to even do the bare minimum. But out of every major sport except maybe baseball, college football seems to be among the most resistant to change.
Yeah.
In 1978, USC Hall of Fame coach John McKay was asked about the NCAA's decision to reduce the number of football scholarships from 105 to 95. So you're going from 105 scholarships to 95 scholarships, 10 less scholarships. Here's how this Hall of Fame college football coach responded. Mark this day on your calendar. This day is the ruin of college football. It will only go downhill from here.
And look where it's at now.
Say they're resistant to change. They're resistant to any kind of change, big or small. By the way, in the 40 years since that quote was recorded, college football has actually dropped the scholarships even lower, all while absolutely soaring in overall popularity. And when it comes to TV revenue, it's the second biggest sport in the country. I think one of the reasons college football gets so nervous when it comes to change is because the sport was just built on an unsustainable model from the very beginning. Amateurism was the glue that held it all together. But seeing as how amateurism is kind of like this mystical force as opposed to like a logical concrete thing that could stand up in court, then essentially college football was on shaky legs from the very beginning.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
It lasted this long under that old model. But now that the old amateurism model is out, it's been replaced with the new NIL craze. So basically after decades and decades of...
Because if you're not going to give them the NIL, guess what they're going to do? The second year, they're getting an agent. They're going to the NFL. It's some people, I was about to sneeze. It's some people who that's not going to make it to the NFL that are going to be great. Like Johnny Manziel, he went to the NFL, right? But the NIL would have loved Johnny. The NIL would have loved Baker Mayfield. Who else? A lot of people, bro. They would have enjoyed people like that.
College players making their schools and coaches rich while sometimes struggling to buy food. Student athletes are now able to...
Wait, let's hear that. Let's hear that again. Let's hear that again.
While sometimes struggling to buy...
Wait, no. Let's go a little bit far back. Look, listen.
College players making their schools and coaches rich while...
College player making their school and their coaches rich. Now let's listen to the next part.
Sometimes struggling to buy food, student athletes are now able to legally make money on endorsements.
I've seen that.
Appearances, or they can even license their own name, image, and likeness to be included in a video game.
That's fire.
About that, it's overall dope, but the whole thing is extremely unstable right now. They lack kind of direction, and they lack any form of like centralized leadership. So I was reading this article from The Ringer, and in it I found this quote from ESPN senior sports writer Pete Thamel, echoing these same exact sentiments. Here's what he said. No one is in charge. For all the billions of dollars, millions of fans, and boundless passion that surround college football, has always been its glaring and bizarre flaw. Nobody's looking out for the greater good of the game. Nobody's guiding the sport towards long-term prosperity and short-term sensibility. No one is building consensus and channeling all of the ratings, financial success, and popularity towards an outcome that is positive for everybody in the sport. The dopest thing about that quote is the fact that it's not a new quote. That's from 2011. So this ain't
Whoa.
some dude panicking over NIL deals and conference realignment. This was a guy who was looking at college football.
He saw it
it's in the height
already.
of his popularity. Everything is going great. And he's like, bro, there's no leadership. You know what I'm saying? So the lack of leadership has always been an issue. It's just even.
Hey, I like his shirt.
Apparent.
His shirt's fire.
The current college football setup has 17-year-old freshmen signing $1 million endorsement deals with a
17-year-old freshman. See, that's the only problem. Like being a young age and you got that much money in your bank account, bro. You really don't have to try no more. Like it's over. Like, bro, I'm 17 years old and I'm from the hood, right? But I'm so good at football. I just signed an NIL for $1 million and I'm 17 years old, which I'm in either junior or senior. Bro, when I go to college, I'm the man already. Even if I'm not the starter, I'm the man. I'm a millionaire. I'm not going to class. I'm going to my game.
Essentially no regulations. I think we all wanted college football players to get paid. We knew then and know now that they deserve it. But I do worry a little bit about a few things with this. So a lot of kids are getting paid before they play a college game. Does create a little bit of pressure, especially on some of these larger deals. So that's just kind of an extra element that they're going to be able to deal with on top of, you know, the normal student athlete thing. But my bigger issue is like these crazy announcements. I really don't like shouting to the world that a kid just signed a $8 million deal. You know what I'm saying? Think about the pressure that pro athletes get put under once they get that first contract. I did a video. What happened to Trent Richardson? And
I bet it's some strange things in that contract for these college students.
In that video, I go through it, you know, piece by piece, but essentially Trent's entire family depending on him for everything and kind of siphoning his cash, you know, stealing. That stuff ended up putting him in a really bad space, and it essentially ruined his career. So to think that that's like completely out of the question with these kids.
At that point, you got to tell your family, bro, hold on. Let me get my stuff together. He was probably a little too much with spending too. But hold on. This is my money. We can get a big house. Y'all can live with me. But we ain't doing all that, bro. We ain't doing all that.
Way.
That's his fault.
You know, it's just dumb.
That's Trent's fault, bro.
Of course, that's gonna happen. For years and years, college football itself, hardcore and casual fans have all known the days of amateurism were clearly numbered, and as soon college players were gonna start to share in the revenue that they clearly were helping to generate. But college football ain't do nothing but cling to the past, flat out refusing to accept the reality despite the fact that they had to see it coming 10 million miles away. Now the White Walkers are here and nobody did a damn thing about it, so they're obviously underprepared. Now the college football world is falling into chaos. The old guard is lashing.
Nick Saban proves to be a hypocrite while calling SEC rival over NIL deal. I can't wait for that Texas A&M game because they both been talking crazy. But yeah, Nick Saban was a hypocrite. Nick Saban before this NIL, bro. These players were paid. I walk past the doors all the time. Chargers, Dodge Chargers, Challengers, everything is there. Wrapped, all types of stuff. Come on, man. I ain't being no snitch, but come on, man. It's obvious
that they'll be played out of their position. But the new kingdoms are taking more territory, gaining powerful allies and executing deadly sneak attacks. College football has been allowed to just drift and, you know, we'll see where the whole thing lands. And it just so happened to land in the year 2022 where everything is so extreme. Like it's either all or nothing. It's like, hey, student athlete, either starve and not be able to accept prize money on a game show or make $5 million a year.
He said he starves because he can't get a
football. Why is there no in between? I personally like the NIL. I like the ability for
they
these
get money
to get
but it's too extreme with the money.
Advertise. Well, you think I got a sponsorship in every video, but I just don't really think it's sustainable to be giving cats $8 million.
Okay,
before they drop their first video. You feel what I'm saying? Like, does that correlation, like, did that comparison make sense? I know the money is great, but I worry about the kid. I worry about the pressure that puts on her on the field and
9.5.
I think about the potential bad contracts. I think about greedy family members and startup restaurants that never had a chance. Essentially, I think some type of regulations are smart.
Got girlfriends, you got friends that always been with you in high school, and they gonna ask for money. Your family gonna ask for money.
Regulations, I still think.
Of course, you're gonna want to stunt with it.
Way to run this. So overall, I think it's definitely good for college football. I just really wish the NCAA wouldn't have sat on their hands for the last decade and actually prepared for this, so that we could have had a plan in place.
When you start paying athletes like they're professionals, you get athletes acting like they're professionals, and you don't have staffs large enough and equipped enough to handle a young man
that act like professionals. Yep.
Let me go deeper. Handle a young man that's making more money than some of the coaches
than you.
On staff. You got a real problem.
Some fear that getting money so early could change the quality of dudes as far as maturity.
That's what I've been saying.
Last thing any of us want
that's the only downfall.
Spoiled, entitled brat types who get filthy rich before doing anything.
Why he show him?
Then develop these attitudes like they just above everybody and kind of have that sense of entitlement.
And why he show him?
The NIL situation could create divisiveness in the locker room, but we've already seen quite a few times where it may actually have the opposite effect. I've seen some players insist that companies include their teammates in deals. Imagine being empowered enough at that young age to get your boy taken care of. Look, I can get my dog paid too. So
if I can get my dog $50,000, that's cool.
I think this whole NIL situation has empowered a lot of cats who was like natural born
leaders.
That's
fire.
Put them in a position to take care of other people or empower other people. With NIL, the business skills and everything that they picking up is probably a hell of a lot more valuable than that
United Airlines, really?
Education that everybody used to rain all the time when they would say that athletes didn't need to be paid.
I thought he was gonna come to Bama.
Also solves the age-old issue of, well, how much money does the bowling team get? It's not fair if the football team gets all the money. Well, it is fair because the money doesn't come from the school and doesn't need to be split and then distributed among.
I say this: you get what you make. You know what I'm saying? If football bringing most of the money, get what you make. Like basketball, WNBA, NBA, we do it off how much money coming in. That's fair, right?
All of the sports programs.
That's fair, right?
The money comes from private businesses who create the market, and your value is whatever they're willing to pay. But with all of that said, my favorite thing about the NIL has been the way that talent seems to be spread into a wider range of schools. Now there's incentive for top prospects to not go to the same few schools we've been seeing for the past decade.
True.
Programs like USC and Texas have a real chance to get back into the elite
of college football. Definitely.
Making the future of college football look a lot more competitive, not less. This is why a lot of the main people complaining are those who have dominated in the
because the people were usually going to a school to win a championship, try to get a Heisman, try to get a ring and get up out of there and get the attention and get up out of there. Now students are going to be coming for the team, the talent, a good position in life. I need to help my mom out. We're struggling. We live in the projects. We struggling. I need this quick money. So let me get this. Let me take this $500,000 instead of just a scholarship and like a free meal plan. That's how it goes. It's life.
The old system, understandably. They know that now, quote unquote, buying players means that less of the top talent is going to just fall into their lap and agree to wait 3 years to get on the field. NIL in this way actually helps level the playing field and has me much more excited to watch programs like Miami or Texas or even Notre Dame. All of these teams that college football has been trying to sell me on for years, talking about their tradition and how this might be the year they rise back to prominence. Well, now for the first time ever, I actually believe that that might be true. And while I know it's not all good, I think
Alabama, Georgia's still gonna be at the top.
really well
Texas, we played Texas our second game. That's gonna be it.
fans like
make a break for us.
Wants to invest in a team who hasn't won recently and maybe is not at the point where they can win a national championship right now. But now there's actual hope that within 2 to 3 to 4 years, they might be able to build themselves back up into a powerhouse and really start to compete at the top.
He had a Wrangler sponsorship. That's fire.
Georgia are cool, but I would like to see some other schools as well. So how you feel about the current state of college football? Largely
I feel good about it.
On which faction you've pledged your loyalty to. Are you in line with the new guard, or are you more in line with the old guard who wants
I want the new, man. I knew with the change, man. They need to change the playoff setting too. They need to make it
maybe you're
at
like
least
me. Like maybe
12.
you're not alone in this. Maybe you're an outsider who's intrigued. A person who's kind of enjoying
or
the
8.
chaos, but also hoping that when the dust settles, it reveals something new, something that can bring in new fans and hopefully not completely ruin it for the old fans. Going into this season, college football seems a lot more wide open than it has in a long time. It feels like the teams have been reset and will once again have to jockey for position if they want to sustain dominance, not just for the next few years, but for the foreseeable future. And I gotta say that for me, that seems pretty damn fun. It sounds like a movie I don't already know the ending to, as a few of the big bads seem more vulnerable.
I can't wait. I can't wait for the Texas A&M one, man. But I think Clemson's over with.
Program reclaim their former glory and now take
like people like Vince Young would have been millionaires before they even went to the NFL. Which would have been good for Vince Young. He didn't play good in the NFL.
That this could lead to a worse product than before. It could lead to new problems for college athletes that some may struggle to deal with. It's a dangerous time for college football, but also an exciting one. I don't know what we'll find on the other side.
It's unstable. You don't know what's going to happen.
But in this particular case, I find the journey itself to be a hell of a lot more interesting than not moving at all.
So that was fire, bro. Yeah, his commentary. What? The most insane. I'm gonna react to this. It sounds like the most insane father in sports history. Oh yeah, we definitely gonna react to this. Yeah, there be some wild sports data out there. But I appreciate y'all watching the video. Like, comment, subscribe, bro. Hope y'all enjoyed it. That was like he actually grabbed good facts and said it like. But I'm glad I was able to share my opinion with y'all because like I seen like the inside of like college sports, like just being around football players, eating lunch, stuff, being around them, and going to parties and stuff, bro. I low key because I was on Ford scholarship for academics. I had more money than some of them, like to eat lunch. Like they used to have to like call their mom to get like transferred money. Like it's just everybody gotta go through stuff like that too. That's life. But that's the celebrities that we build up at Alabama. Like celebrities, like they had a nice, like of course they had a nice cafeteria, dorms nice, bathrooms nice, of course. But the full scholarship that they get, they gotta hide it. Like if they even gonna share, if they got money on the table, bro, you can't like talk about that at all. So their mom probably got it, or they got a scholarship, but they're not a necessity on the team. So guess what? You're just a regular college student now, just on full scholarship for books, everything else, classes, and to eat food at the cafeteria. Sometimes you're too busy to eat the cafeteria. So now he's hungry. It's life, man. It's college life. College life, brother. That goes for every sport. I'm going to holler at y'all later, man. Peace.